machines in one place with Control Center. Select a profile to match your needs: productivity, gaming, or development. Fine-tune RAM, CPU and disk space for optimal performance. Download today and customize your virtual machines for peak performance.
But it's a real struggle. He ends up hitting everything except the target and realizes it's even worse than he thought. After 100 shots, Earth celebrates because he reaches level 5 and tries out his kicking skills, which have gotten stronger. He also tries his wind spell and finds it's more accurate than his arrows. With the basic skills he needs to survive, Earth decides to go out into the field. But it's a total mess with all the new players around. He figures he'll gather herbs, but he notices that players can't tell what the things they pick up are, so he tries to appraise them, but he fails a bunch of times. Eventually, though, he levels up his medical skills. Then he sees that one of the herbs he picked is super dangerous. It can stop someone's breathing and kill them if they eat it. Earth is really mad that the game developers put this deadly herb in the starting area, but he's glad he learned how to appraise things. Next, he buys a beginner's medicine crafting set and tries to make healing potions. Somehow, he manages to make a common healing potion, and he follows it up with a healing antidote. Then, he discovered that once he made one thing, the game let him make a bunch of them. Earth remembered that people could buy potions really cheap from the game's non-player characters, so he thought maybe no one would want what he made. But his medicine skill reached level 7, so Earth decided to go hunting. Luckily, there weren't as many players around, so he got the first chance at a beast. He knew that bows didn't shoot quickly, so that first shot was super important. He missed the target, and the bunny got mad. Earth managed to shoot an arrow through the bunny's paw and gave it a knee to the tummy. To finish it off, he kicked the bunny, and it went flying. Earth realized he was more of a kicker than an archer. Just then, 2 people showed up to say hi. There was a guy named Sway who could hardly stop laughing because the bunny had made a weird noise. He said something about humor being justice, which left Earth wondering if he was some kind of comedian. The girl's name was Millie, and they asked if they could send Earth friend requests. Sway got all excited when Earth said yes, talking about how they could become a top comedy duo. They left, and Earth went back to getting more experience. But he soon realized that the bunnies were pretty smart. Even when he tried to sneak up on them, they noticed him. His wind spell was able to defeat one of the little bunnies, but he wanted to try out his sneak spell to sneak up on another one. It worked. Earth pointed out that even though his bow never seemed to hit the target, when he combined it with his sneak spell, he became really strong. Earth logged off because he knew the super serious gamers would stay up all night playing. But he had to work in the morning. The next day, Earth had some terrible tasting bread for breakfast and decided to make his own food. He seasoned the steak to make it taste amazing, but he realized he didn't really know what he was doing. The first try tasted awful, and he got a score of just 2. So, he made some adjustments, and the second time it tasted fantastic. But he wanted it to be even better. As he channeled his inner chef, the delicious smell attracted everyone nearby. Earth finished his dish and got a score of 7, but all the townspeople showed up, demanding some. Earth didn't want to give it away for free, so he set a really high price, and he was surprised to see they were willing to pay. He spent the whole evening cooking, which raised his cooking level to 20, and he even learned a skill that made him cook much faster. Later, Earth decided to make a bow. There wasn't much demand for bows, so archers had to make their own. His first bow was very basic, so it only got a score of 3 and an attack power of 4. But his next bow was a lot better. He used 3 pieces of wood and sanded down some parts so they fit together perfectly. It was a big improvement and had an attack power of 12. Finally, Earth upgraded his super plane look with some cool armor. He checked his stats and was happily surprised by how much he'd improved. But, he was running low on money. So, he put some food and a grape-flavored healing potion in a vending machine to see if anyone would buy them. After that, we saw Earth making a ton of progress. He defeated some really tough beasts, and it was way easier with his homemade bow and leveled up skills. When he got back to the vending machine, he found a bunch of nice letters from people who loved his stuff. Everything was going better than he'd ever imagined. But, oh no, things took a bad turn. A new system attacked them all, and they had to hurry back to town. Everyone was in a big panic, looking for someone with the medicine skill and begging for potions. Earth was confused because he thought they could just buy potions from the game's NPCs. But Sway explained that the NPCs were saying they didn't have any. This was a problem for Earth because he knew everyone would beg him for the potions he left in the vending machine. Without a second to rest, people started begging for potions. So, Earth said they could only buy a limited amount and set a really high price. Surprisingly, everyone agreed to pay the high price without complaining. The nice notes on the vending machines turned into demands for Earth to hurry up, and his friends showed up to help. Sway handled the crowd, and Millie offered to take care of the money. Earth ran out of potions, so the people decided to come back the next day. But then, a really annoying shiny Wobbuffet appeared and demanded that Earth give him all the potions. Earth said no, so Wobbuffet threatened them. Earth finally stood up for himself and told the bully that the townspeople were the ones who really needed the potions. He told Wobbuffet to wait like everyone else, but the bully tried to pay him. Earth warned him not to do that because the game's NPCs might stop selling weapons and armor, and they'd have to rely on crafters. The bully would have to learn how to get along with other players. The guy didn't want to hear it and challenged Earth to a fight. Sway warned Earth not to, but Earth wouldn't let someone boss others around. So, he accepted the challenge and decided to use the bully's overconfidence to find a weak spot. Shiny Wobbuffet started with a powerful attack, but Earth dodged it easily. He found the guy's weak spot and shot an arrow right through his neck. Of course, the bully was shocked, and Earth was declared the winner. Earth was really humble about winning and promised to have more potions the next day. He logged off, thinking his day had been a success, and he figured those bullies might quit the game. Several days passed after the incident with the missing potions, and the game had a big change. Earth saw that now, knowing how to use medicine was important. People realized that even the NPCs could run out of stuff, and that's why they started thinking about learning medicine. Earth got back into the game and thanked Sway for inviting him to the guild. Sway introduced the other members of their team, starting with a big guy named Rage. He uses a one-handed axe and a shield and said he'd make the enemies come after him. Then, a girl named Nora introduced herself. She said she's good at fighting up close with short swords, but she warned everyone not to call her flat or a cutting board or she wouldn't be friendly. The last person was Casimir, and he was super good with a sword. Earth tried to introduce himself, but they stopped him because everyone was talking about how strong he was. Earth didn't want to stand out because he had just shown a bully a lesson. Earth noticed that their team was kind of unbalanced with 4 melee fighters, 1 mage, and an archer, him. But Sway explained that Millie could use different kinds of magic, and Nora could do healing magic. Sway said their first mission was to beat a wild bear. Everyone was excited and confident they could do it, but Earth didn't know where all that confidence was coming from. Sway tells Earth that they're all depending on him to carry the team. Earth's like, wait, I've never seen a wild bear before. I heard they're super fast, smart, and tough to beat. But Sway ignores his worries and promises Earth he'll cook something yummy once they're done. Excited, everyone heads out, but Earth isn't as thrilled. Then, they spot some wild bears, but they're in a group, so they pick one they can all gang up on. The others realize that Earth's long-distance vision skill is pretty handy and having him around is valuable. Millie buffs Sway, and they plan to lure one of the bears away. Earth decides to use his sneak skill and shoots an arrow into the back of the bear's neck, but he didn't think about what to do when it gets mad. Thankfully, Rage, the tank, jumps in to take the aggro. Earth explains that monsters have something called aggro, which shows who they're mad at. Rage has high defense, so he'll make the bear angry at him and protect everyone. Earth hides in some bushes to attack from a distance, while Millie heals Rage, and Nora joins in to do some damage too. The group attacks, but they quickly figure out that the bear's skin is super tough. Millie tries a fire spell to get the bear's attention, and it works, making Rage the target again. The fight is getting tough, and Sway realizes he may have underestimated their opponent. Earth sees things going south and knows he has to make a quick decision. He trusts his 38 years of life experience and takes a risky bet. He aims between the bear's eyes, thinking it's the weak spot. It seems like it worked, but it actually doesn't, and they all wonder if they're done for. The bear has way too much HP. Earth goes for his last option. The others worry about his safety, but Earth dives in and uses a spell he learned at Wind Magic level 15. He gets super fast for 10 seconds and pushes his arrow deeper into the beast's skull. Millie follows up with a strong fire spell. Finally, they defeat the beast, and they realize the fight was way harder than they thought. Afterward, Earth cooks for the group, and everyone is amazed at how tasty it is. They wonder if it's expensive to make such good food. Earth explains that it's not. The only problem is that the recipes can't be bought because crafters have an unspoken rule not to trade them. One reason recipes can't be traded is because making them takes a lot of time and money. The second reason is, even if 2 people have the same recipe, the stuff they make might turn out really different. Recipes are like the hard work and creativity of the people who made them. You can copy the recipe, but you can't copy the quality. Sway thinks Earth should always cook for them for cheap, and everyone agrees, even though Earth doesn't really want to. But they don't listen to him. They all ask to be friends, and Earth's first adventure with a party goes well. But in the next scene, something bad happens. Earth got too confident after beating a monster on his own and decided to go into the fifth area, the forest. He attacked an ant, and it called its friends. Earth kept fighting, but the ant could reflect damage. He couldn't move, and he knew he was in trouble. Earth got a penalty for dying and was sent back to town. He admits it was his fault for being too sure of himself and decides he needs to do better next time. Then, all players get a message about a big update called the Fairy Ball. It will have new skills and items for crafters, plus fairies to help them in their adventures. Earth knows that other players will be leveling up too, so he can't afford to get more penalties from dying. Later, we see that Earth worked hard to get rid of his heavy penalty and learned how to be a blacksmith. He doesn't want to make the same mistake again, so he decides to make an arrowhead that can pierce through the tough ant's skin. First, he gets 2 types of iron. One is regular iron for piercing, and the other is super pure iron for smashing. He attaches the iron arrowhead to a wooden arrow, making an iron arrow with 7 attack points. Then, he makes a mace-like arrowhead for smashing. Earth is sure he'll meet more enemies that can reflect damage, and kicking doesn't let him use a weapon. So, he adds short spikes to the bottom of his boots and a blade on the side to solve both problems. Even though it's a prototype, it's useful, giving him 12 attack points and 2 extra defense. But he wants to test it and make it better. Then, a couple of mean guys come by and make fun of his boots. They wonder if they're boots or weapons. Earth proudly says they're both, and the guys feel bad because they can't do anything except be mean. Later, Earth goes to a shop and buys some bowstrings. The shop girl notices his unique boots and is kind of scared when Earth tells her he plans to use them to fight ants. She's impressed because she thought he was just a chef. As for his bow, Earth explains that he reached archery level 30 and now needs to pick a specialization. He has 3 choices: short bow, long bow, and hunting